The château rose like a vision from the mist, its towers piercing the sky, its walls whispering of power, intrigue, and artistry. For decades, it had been the jewel of Burgundy, one of Duke Philip the Good's most treasured residences. It was not merely a fortress of stone and mortar, it was a living masterpiece, reshaped and reimagined by the greatest minds of the age. In the year 1410, Hugh de Boulogne arrived at the château, not as a mere visitor but as its appointed steward, artist, and engineer. Hugh was no ordinary man, his hands, trained in the delicate art of painting, now turned to shaping reality itself. Under his guidance, the château transformed. Its halls shimmered with vibrant stained glass, its windows framed delicate tracery, and its walls bore intricate carvings that seemed almost alive. The Duke's love for art and innovation found perfect expression here. But Hugh's greatest contributions were the marvels hidden within the château's walls, mechanical wonders that defied imagination. Cunningly crafted automata adorned the great halls, their movements so fluid that guests often mistook them for living beings. Caged birds sang without any visible source of sound. Clocks, their faces adorned with gold and sapphire, measured time with a precision unheard of in those days. Some of these creations served as mere entertainments, while others were designed as elaborate distractions or even clever pranks, playing tricks on unsuspecting guests. By the time Hugh de Boulogne's tenure ended, sometime around 1450, the château was already a marvel. Yet, his successor, Pierre Caustaing, would take it even further, ensuring that its beauty and mystery would only deepen with time. In the 1430s, the Duke's chamberlain, Collard Le Voleur, took on a new project, expanding the automata. His additions were not merely decorative but interactive, meant to surprise and amuse. Guests would walk through the grand corridors only to find themselves suddenly greeted, or startled by lifelike figures moving of their own accord. Some contraptions, cleverly hidden within walls and furniture, could whisper words or play eerie melodies when triggered. It was a place of illusion, where art and engineering blended to create an otherworldly experience. Between 1459 and 1463, a magnificent spiral staircase was added, a masterpiece of both form and function. Its elegant curves twisted upward like a serpent, connecting the great halls to the private chambers above. The staircase became a symbol of the château itself, a place where beauty and mystery intertwined, where each level offered a new layer of intrigue. Yet, beyond its wonders, the château was a center of power. Here, Philip the Good received the most esteemed visitors of his time. His domain stretched far and wide, but this place, alongside his other favored residences, including Brussels' Koudenberg Palace, Bruges Prinsenhof, Lille's Rehauer Palace, and Ghent's Prinsenhof, was where he held court, where he shaped the fate of nations. The year 1463 was one of great diplomacy. The château's halls echoed with the footsteps of kings and envoys. Denmark's King Christian I arrived, his presence a testament to Burgundy's vast influence. Soon after, an ambassador of Emperor Frederick III stood in the Grand Hall, deep in negotiations that would ripple across Europe. Most significantly, two of the most powerful men of the age, Louis XI of France and Edward IV of England, sought peace under this very roof. Here, among the gilded columns and the flickering candlelight, treaties were forged, rivalries softened, and the future of kingdoms was decided. Yet not all who passed through these doors were mighty rulers. In the year 1483, within the same halls that had once hosted kings, stood a child no more than 3 years old. She was small, fragile, yet her destiny was already written in the grand game of European politics. She was Margaret of Austria, daughter of Emperor Maximilian I. The air was thick with ceremony as noblemen and courtiers gathered. Margaret, barely old enough to understand the significance of the moment, was betrothed that day to the young Dauphin Charles of France. Though she did not know it, this château was the last home she would know before being sent away to Château d'Amboise, where her life would be shaped by foreign hands. She was not merely a child, she was a symbol of alliance, a piece in the endless chess game of power and politics. As the years passed, the château remained, its walls bearing silent witness to the tides of history. It had been a palace of wonder, a seat of power, a stage for kings, and the setting for fates sealed with ink and whispered words. Even as the world changed, even as rulers came and went, the château stood tall, a monument to the dreams of a duke, the genius of his artisans, and the echoes of history that refused to fade.